非常感谢大家继续参与我们的论坛。现在我们将进入今天的第3场讨论，主题为全球人工智能治理中欧合作的前景与挑战。此次讨论由全球解决方案倡议 Globalization Initiative 联合主办。本场讨论的主持人是中国与全球化智库 CCG 副主任、高级研究员，曾担任 Infosys 大中华区董事总经理的刘洪先生。
Thank you for staying with us as we begin our 3rd panel discussion of the day, and thank you for taking such a short break. This panel discussion is titled Global AI Governance, Prospects and Challenges for China-Europe Cooperation in collaboration with the Global Solutions Initiative. The moderator of this roundtable will be Mike Liu, Vice President and Senior Fellow at the Center of China and Globalization and former Managing Director of Infosys Greater China. This panel discussion will also feature 2 special remarks by some very special guests. The first is Yang Xuemei, Deputy Director General of the China Science and Technology Exchange Center, CSTEC, and His Excellency Bertrand Lotolari, Ambassador of France to China. Other participants, and you can now come to the stage, I believe, will be Shireen Chen, a business partner and president of the International Department at AirDoc, Gu Dengchen, Director of International Policy Research Center, Ali Research, Mark Horn, President of Merck China, Andreas Huber, Vice Chairman of China Bruker EV, former Global Vice President of SAP, Thorsten Jelinek, Research Fellow at Center for Digital Governance, the Herzl School in Berlin, Tony Yongjin, Executive Vice President of Huawei European Region, Stephen Gangli, Vice Dean and Chief Analyst, Tencent Research Institute, Vidisha Mishra, a Director of Global Outreach and Policy, Global Solutions Initiative Foundation, Sun Yongfu, Senior Fellow, Center for China and Globalization, former Director General of MOFCOM Department of European Affairs, Felix Valdivielso, Chairman of China Center IE University, Wang Yiwei, Non-Resident Senior Fellow, Center of China and Globalization, Jean Monnet, Chair Professor and Director of Center for European Studies at Renmin University of China. Thank you all very much.
All right. As we just enjoyed 2 fantastic roundtable, we are going to start a 3rd one. The theme is the global AI governance, prospect and challenges for China-Europe corporations. This is also jointly hosted with the Global Solution. And today, our topic is, I would say, is very intriguing if we really compare, look at what's happening in the world. If I may, look at the global governance. For many people, probably they try to understand what does that mean for global governance. It's about how we can collaborate to come up with a set of rules, standards, and the practice to that help to manage AI in our societies. So if I understand, if I really recall with the first AI Safety Summit in UK in 2023, and France will host AI Summit in February 2025. As a key players in technology, both China and Europe have been at the forefront of AI governance. If I call a report from Chinese the AI Governance International Evaluation Index done by the Research Institute at the Chinese Academy of Science, top 10 countries around the world, European countries have been taking a 4th position. And Germany in the 4th place, UK 6th, France 8th, and Italy in the 10th, where China is in the 2nd place. So the bigger question in front of us as we kick off this roundtable is about how can China and Europe play a pivotal role in advancing global cooperation and AI governance. Without further ado, I would like to invite Madam Yang Xuemei, Deputy Director General, China Science and Technology Exchange Center, to give us a special address. Madam.
谢谢主持人。
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
esteemed Your Excellency Bertrand Larry and Harry. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very delighted to be invited to attend this morning. As per schedule, I'm going to talk about the global AI governance, to share my observations with you. Right now, the new round of the science revolution is on the way. The cloud computing, big data, and machine learning getting deeper and deeper. AI has become the core momentum to drive the world. The huge opportunities brought by AI. At the same time, the development of AI also faced with a lot of risks and challenges in the world, which include the privacy, security, the social equity, geopolitical tensions, and so on and so forth. So the AI governance need to be coordinated and collaborated with all countries. As the responsible great power of AI development, China is willing to cooperate and conduct a dialogue and exchange with the countries. Last year, the third Belt and Road Forum, President Xi Jinping has proposed the initiative of AI governance around the governance, management, and the development of AI systematically clarify China's solutions, providing the references for how to govern AI. And between May 5th to 7th, when President Xi Jinping paid a state visit to France, we also issued the joint declaration of the governing the AI to make the AI systems more responsible and humanistic, to enhance the joint cooperation between China and France. EU is always the important platform for realize the future dreams of advancing technology and science, including AI. And before we, in collaboration with the leadership of France, as well as the EU countries, it has been declared that we want to expand the area of the scientific innovation cooperation with EU countries. And my center was established in 1982, acknowledged by the State Council, which is a national center for the exchange of the technologies with other countries. We are very active and determined to collaborate with the businesses, industry, and governmental agencies for advancing the technology cooperation.
We have enriched the scientific cooperation between our two sides. We have built very good networks for innovation cooperation. We worked on life science, space science, and green and low carbon development. And in 2024, we held 5 exchange activities. We invited over 100 Chinese and European experts to give speeches, and over 20,000 representatives participated in those online sessions. That has deepened our mutual learning and exchanges. Last year, at the first BRI Science and Technology Exchange Conference, we also launched the International Science and Technology Cooperation Initiative to build a global community for shared future. AI is important to human destiny, and the world should work together to build a regulatory framework for AI to make AI technology more secure, reliable, and equitable. We hope that we can work together with the EU to increase AI governance cooperation and promote the orderly and healthy development of AI globally, and ensure that AI will move towards the direction that is good for human civilization progress. Finally, I wish this conference every success. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Yang. Thank you for your comprehensive introduction.
Why His Excellency Bertrand Larry, Ambassador of French to China, to give us a special address. Ambassador, floor is yours.
Thank you so much. 尊敬的王慧瑶先生
Mr. Henry Huiyao, Madam Yang Xuemei, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon.
I appreciate the organization this afternoon by CCG of this forum, and particularly the roundtable that just started on the global governance of AI, which, as you know, and as we just heard yet again, is a very major issue for France in general, and I would say particularly this year. As a matter of fact, France will be hosting an AI Action Summit next February, where we intend to further the efforts that were initiated at the Bletchley Park and Seoul summits, while widening both the scope of the topics under discussion and the breadth of the countries represented. The issue of AI global governance, as we see it, is one that requires the building of a large international consensus, not only on the question of safety that was already discussed in the previous summits, but also on how to build an inclusive and sustainable AI that benefits all. To this end, our approach will be to hold discussions topics such as the development of safe and secure AI for our citizens, the future of work, or how to support innovation and creation ecosystems to make AI the industry of the future. In terms of method also, we choose to be inclusive and bottom-up. We know that we all have different sensitivities. France, for its part, is attached to the principle of the EU AI Act, which is the world's first comprehensive regulation on artificial intelligence. But we consider it essential that all countries, whether they have a big AI industry or not, be given a say in the way this technology should be developed and regulated. This is why several dozens of heads of states will be invited to attend the summit, and China, of course, is no exception. For us, it's absolutely paramount that China be in Paris at the highest possible level. It also goes without saying that we consider it paramount to fully embed this work in the framework established by the United Nations, and especially the Global Digital Compact that was adopted in September. As I said, in the context of the upcoming Paris Summit, AI can be, and hopefully will be, an important topic of engagement between Europe and China, considering both parties' interests and contributions on the matter. Ladies and gentlemen, from a recent visit to China of President Macron's special envoy for the summit, there is a large potential for cooperation on this global issue, as most of the opportunities and concerns that AI raises are shared, and most of the answers to these can only be global in scope. In this endeavor, and building up on the first bilateral statement agreed during President Xi Jinping's state visit to France back in May, we are pleased to be working very closely with our Chinese counterparts and all Chinese stakeholders on the best ways to ensure sound AI governance without hampering innovation, while ensuring sustainability and inclusiveness. And beyond the scope of states, we also consider that inclusiveness in the governance of AI must extend to civil society, academics, artists, and all those who have knowledge of or will be affected by the development of AI. As AI is a profoundly technical issue, we consider it essential that the debates on its development and governance be grounded in scientific work. This is why scientists and academics from China, as well as from all over the world, will be invited not only to the summit itself, but also to a series of encounters that will be organized in the days leading to the meetings of the heads of state. In light of all this, ladies and gentlemen, I can only encourage each and every one of you to learn more about the summit, and if you are interested, explore the many ways in which you can contribute and bring your own ideas to the table. Thank you all for your attention. 谢谢各位.
Thank you, Ambassador, for setting the stage, and definitely we look forward to the forum next year. So now I would like to invite distinguished speakers to start the roundtable in alphabetical order. The first speaker will be Serene Chan, President of the International Department, AirDoc. Serena, the floor is yours.
好的，谢谢主持人。
Thank you very much, Madam. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your invitation. AirDoc is actually the only AI medical care company that is represented in this forum. And we have recognized some challenges posed by globalization. So I'd like to take this opportunity to share our ideas with you. First, AI governance cooperation should be focused on the following 4 points. First, we are committed to people-centered and positive intelligence. And everything should serve the common values of mankind. And second, we should ensure that the development and regulation and governance of AI should ensure equity of opportunities and rights. And third, we should increase cooperation on privacy protection. And fourth, we should bring together the expertise of China and Europe and increase R&D on medical AI products and technologies. So, as a representative of AI medical company, I have the following 2 initiatives to make for today, and we are also welcoming your criticism and guidance with regard to these initiatives. First, we want to build a global medical care data alliance. And we know that in Paris, there will be a summit next year. And actually, I feel that in 2019, I already felt that President Macron was talking about the development towards this direction. And we need to use this platform to bring together clinical data and research data. For example, COVID-19, just 4 years ago, China was the first to share the data on clinical studies and on this variety of the virus. But it was still challenged by many countries. So I think we need such a platform to better share data and they make better contributions to the global efforts. I think AI can help us to do this. And second, under the support of the Data Alliance, we need a data sharing and protection mechanism. First, we need to develop the commonly used diagnosis model based on the data and AI diagnosis model. I'm very proud to say that AirDoc has the largest data for the eye organ. Probably it depends, just us alone is not enough. So we want to have good cooperation with many universities. I believe we will have a greater scope for cooperation. And what can we do with the data? Actually, it can be used for treating many diseases, for example, heart disease and vascular diseases. So that eye organ is retina in English. So retina is very useful. And many of the diseases are prevalent in Asia. Actually, with the prevalence of internet and such diseases are also very common in Europe too. I'm sorry, we only have 3 minutes, everyone, so I hope that you can be very brief. Okay, I'm about to end. You know, at the Parliament of France in 2019, they issued an act. They hope that they will use AI to solve the shortage of medical personnel. I think AI can help us. Okay, just a few seconds more. Finally, I hope that China and Europe and the whole world will have a kind of a cooperation fund to support the development of platforms, the collection of data, and the development of models. And for the shared data, we can have encrypted protection and sharing of patented rights. And on behalf of AirDoc, I want to say that AI must be people-centered. So we want to use AI to improve medical efficiency, and that is what we want. Thank you very much, Madam Chen. And now I'd like to invite Gu Dengchen Director of the International Policy Research Center of Ali Research. Thank you very much, distinguished guests. I'm very honored to have this opportunity to share with you our ideas about AI governance and global governance. We have a feeling AI is an e-commerce company, and its slogan is that there should be nothing impossible in terms of doing business in the world. So we have been doing cross-border e-commerce from 2019 to 2022. The 27 countries of the EU, through the Alibaba platforms, exported over 120 billion euro to China. So for 4 years, it's about over 100 billion euro. In 2022, over 30 billion, up by 30% above 2019.
The topic today, because the application of AI has to be combined with the workflow and the models of your business. For example, on the EU platform, they can use the different tools to make and produce the images, pictures, and video that can penetrate into the sales. So the tools of AI can be used and accessed to observe the market trends and to analyze the customers and to produce new product that is adaptive to this market. So the logic of AI actually has not fundamentally changed. Right now, we can see that is the framework of the governance is like this, and US, they're used in NIS framework to promote the AI governance, and EU, they have AI Act. Now they also have the AI Office to promote this kind of model. In UK and other EU countries, they are in AI sectors framework. So the core expectation is that the governance can be governed by unified standard and norms, be the measurement or test or whatever, and everything needs to be unified under the same standard. And in the future, we hope that through the public cloud plus the AI plus the technology promoters to serve the market and the customers in EU. So there is some detail from Microsoft. Eric Smith, the CEO, received an interview. The models of AI from China is advancing way beyond the expectation of the Westerners. And now the AI's models development and LLMs in China has been transformed very fast. We have Ali Cloud and we have other clouds, and now they are at the same level of US right now. And the community of the cloud, which is based on Qianwen, and LM based on the Qianwen framework, the users amount to like 82 million. So through the open source and open model, more developers and more tools can be nurtured on the platform. The technologies can be combined with the ecosystems of the e-businesses to serve more customers, to save the cost of the communication and transactions. And this is our expectation for the AI environment. And to respond to the question regarding the situation of AI governance from US, I'm sorry, because 3 minutes is very stringent. 20 seconds. So we think that the administration and the jurisdictions should also come first, and there will be no 180 degrees of the U-turn. We probably have to make sure that everything is predictable, and we will not be shocked by any surprises. That will be beneficial to the customers. Thank you, Mr. Gu.
A bit pushy, given a very large size of the panel here. Now let's switch back to English channel. Let me invite Mark Hong, President of Merck China, to share your thoughts on this. Mark.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Ambassador to France, Madam Yang, dear friends of CCG, distinguished guests, very honored to be here and to share our view from Merck. I'm representing Merck here in China. We are a science and technology company from Germany covering life science, healthcare, and electronics. And we've been now here in China for 90 years, and that's why for us, Sino-European relationships are very close to our heart. So when it comes to cooperation in AI, we believe there are a lot of vast opportunities and complexity in that field. It is clear that AI is inherently a global question, which means that we need to work on that together. And we believe by combining Chinese technology strength with European focus on regulations and ethical behavior, these two regions really have a potential to work together and lead the global conversation. Let me share what I mean by that. We have in China really a tremendous stride in AI over the last couple of years, significant investments in technology, data infrastructure, and a vast pool of talents. China's next generation of artificial intelligence development plan has positioned the country as a global leader by 2030. On the other hand, in Europe, we are home of some of the world's leading research institutes, companies focusing on AI, with a very strong emphasis on ethical considerations and human-centric technology. The European AI Act aims to create a comprehensive framework in that space to drive really the concept of safe, trustworthy, and ethical AI. Now, I think the devil is always in the details, and this here really is, again, differing perspectives of culture also, how AI government models will relate to data privacy and security. And if you think about that, just to quote a research from Forbes, in Europe, for example, there are significant concerns around misinformation of AI, employment impact, and clearly also the question of dependency on technologies. Whereas in China, for example, most of the people feel that this is an opportunity. So this is something we need to also take into consideration when you look at this. Now, there are vast opportunities where you can really use AI. It's around pandemics, climate change, aging population, and we really see also the GDP growth opportunities coming through. To quote here an IDC report from 2024, by 2030, this will contribute by another $20 trillion of GDP growth. So a lot of opportunities for all of us. So what are the areas where we suggest we should work together? One is really to create a common AI standard framework that ensures the system's trustworthy and non-discriminatory. Second one is to really have joint research initiatives to address the shared challenges we just discussed around bias, sustainability, and then really focusing on some of the overarching human problems we all share, like climate change, healthcare, disaster response. We also believe that there needs to be an effort to make responsible AI systems, which means respecting human rights, being transparent, and really understandable for us what the outcome is, because that is still one of the biggest problems we see at the moment, that we do not understand the outcome of AI. And to share with you at the end, one of the approaches we take at Merck, we actually use AI very much in the area, of course, of healthcare drug discovery. We also use it in life science for material science discovery. And we use it also for design, for sustainability, so really using AI to simulate potential new materials to reduce CO2 emissions. On the other hand, because we are really at the edge of a lot of technology questions, we also are supported by a global panel of experts in the AI, but also in the ethical space, to really consult us, to support us, because we truly believe this topic really requires all stakeholders, as the ambassador already elaborated, at the table. So you need to look at society, you need to look at the companies, you need to have the policymakers and the government all sitting at the same table. So that only then, I think, we can manage to balance innovation and digital ethics coming through this, and then really can really grasp the full potential of AI as human mankind. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mark, for very comprehensive thoughts. Next, I would like to invite Andrews, Vice Chairman, China Brook, to share your thoughts on this. Please help me to stay with 3 minutes if possible. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, Mike. Dear Ms. Young,
Get closer to the mic.
Okay, better now? Yeah. Okay. So Mrs. Young, Excellencies, Henry and CCG, it's a very big honor for me to be here again after I had the opportunity to join last time. I'm representing the China Bridge, which is a public diplomacy platform. Although for this topic, I would actually go more back to my role at SAP, where I spent 23 years very much looking into less the technology part itself, but more the application of technology and looking for the value in technology, and in this case also refer this to AI. So the question of how technological innovation in China and Europe can create synergies for business communities is central to today's discussion. AI represents an extraordinary opportunity not only to advance innovation, but also to strengthen global economic connections through practical collaboration. China and Europe each bring complementary strengths, as we heard before. China's ability to scale AI solutions rapidly and integrate into such industries such as manufacturing, energy, and healthcare offers a dynamic environment for applying innovation. On the other side, Europe, with its strong ethical frameworks and regulatory foresight, provides a foundation of trust and accountability. Together, those strengths create a powerful opportunity for cross-border collaboration that drives tangible business benefits. For businesses, the real opportunity lies in co-developing innovation, ecosystems that leverage these shared strengths. Imagine combining Europe's advancements in sustainable technologies with China's AI-driven infrastructure capabilities. This could transform industries like green energy or urban mobility. Similarly, in healthcare, Europe's focus on precision and China's ability to deploy solutions at scale could address global challenges such as in aging populations and personal medicine. In this context, we are very much working with, in this case, with the Hebei province to develop first pilots. So I'm very excited, hopefully, next year to share more. In my role with China Bridge, I firsthand see how essential it is to build trust and enable practical connections between stakeholders in both regions. Platforms like ours create the conditions for collaboration by fostering dialogue, aligning priorities, and supporting initiatives that deliver results for businesses and communities alike. At the same time, governments and research institutions play an equally critical role in enabling these synergies. Joint investment programs, shared regulatory frameworks, and research exchanges are vital pathways to success. These efforts need to be designed with a focus on outcomes, whether that's accelerating innovation, improving competitiveness, or creating opportunities for businesses on both sides. Ultimately, AI governance and collaborations are not just about managing risks. They are about unlocking opportunities. By working together pragmatically, China and Europe can not only lead in innovation, but also set a global standard for transparency, inclusivity, and shared progress. Business operating within such cooperative framework can reduce uncertainty, expand into new markets, and contribute to sustainable economic growth. In this context, I would like to close my remarks and looking forward for further discussions. Thank you.
Thank you, Andres. Next, I would like to invite Tony Jin, the Vice President of the European region and the Chief Rep to the European Institute from Huawei. Tony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Dear Madam Yang, dear Ambassador, dear Harry. So, good afternoon, everyone, friends. I'm honored to be here to share some of our views, Huawei views on artificial intelligence. AI is changing our society, and as a global leader in the digital domain, Huawei is committed to advanced AI innovation and its proper usage. Last year, 2023, the company invested over $23 billion in research and development, and based on the EU figure, ranking the global number 5. So large portion of this investment went into the AI technologies. Huawei believes in using AI for good. So AI can free up productivities, support the digital transformations, and of course, to improve the welfare for humans and the society. So I'd like to give you a few of the cases, most of them in Europe. Environmental protections. At the this year actually, the last March, the Mobile World Congress, Huawei's Norway Salmon Protection Project won the GSMA Global Award. GSMA is the organizer for this event, big award. And this project using AI to save the endangered wild salmon in Norway. It means a lot for the country. And the AI system achieved 100% accuracy in identifying invasive salmon. The second one is talk about meteorology. So based on the 40 years of the global weather data, Huawei together with the partners developed an open-sourced large model for meteorology. And the European Center for Middle Range Weather Forecast, ACCWS, used this open-sourced model, increasing weather forecasting speed by 10,000 times, and they reduced the mistakes by over 12%. So they are very satisfied with these solutions. Healthcare, Huawei worked with the Spanish hospital IIS Alagon and Dive Medical, a Spanish startup, to create a solution based on AI technologies and can help detect early sign of the vision problems for children. These vision problems affect 19 million children globally, and this solution has been deployed in more than 10 countries. So last case I want to share is smart automotive. Huawei cooperates with 29 of the 30 car makers in China to create solutions such as Internet of Vehicle, self-driving computing, based on the Huawei AI-enabled cloud services. And those companies from US, Europeans, all the countries. And in China's self-driving solution industry, 80% of the companies use Huawei Cloud for research and innovations. And we see autonomous driving as a very typical AI application with huge potential. So come back to Europe, AI is growing so fast, and especially healthcare, finance, manufacturing, transportation. However, we are also facing some challenges. Huawei has been deeply rooted in Europe for more than 24 years. We understand that AI development very rely on international cooperations and innovations, as well as providing equal rights, equal opportunities, equal rules for all the countries and the companies. China and Europe both joined the Global AI Governance Initiative and have many complementing strengths in AI. It has a great potential. But of course, as a global company, sometimes we are also confused by the idea of forming exclusive groups such as like-minded countries. We are very confused. And this approach limits cooperation by focusing on the country of origin. We disagree using the political stance to block certain companies from the market. This is not only harms the global collaborations, but also limits the potential of Europe's AI industries. And we advocated for global collaborations and support AI development, share the AI expertise, particularly for China and Europe's ongoing cooperations. And of course, we must work together to manage risks and create a global AI governance framework. And this will provide both sides with clear regulations and business certainty. So by the end, AI is the future of our society. In cooperation with our European partners, we will develop and apply the AI technologies, promote global unified standards, mitigate AI risks, and strengthen technological abilities for AI governance. So open collaborations and mutual benefit between China and Europe can advance these important green digital transitions and leading to our social prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tony. And next, I would like to invite Thorsten Yannick, Research Fellow at the Center for Digital Governance.
Thank you very much. The 3 minutes is quite challenging because usually natural scientists love it. They reduce the complexity to the simple, right? So I'm a social scientist. Sorry, bear with me. I just came back from the center of the Beijing Tianjin Hebei robotics cluster, which is in Tangshan, and I was very impressed. So there's one shared factory, robotics factory, and they share the capacity, the engineers, the capacity to purchase robotics materials, etc. And they incubate around 150 startups producing, prototyping their robots. So if you're an engineer student, you have a great idea, you can pitch it, you can pilot it, and those robots which are emerging there, and of course they're using robots to build those robots, are applied across all sectors. Why is this happening? Because AI gives the robotics industry also a booster with the advancements of AI. And what I could feel, and those are some of those more gloomy estimations, that maybe in 15, 20 years, robots will not just replace jobs. Actually, this kind of robotic revolution will completely change the labor system, giving it new properties and new metrics, etc. But on the risk side, and shortly I want to share also actually what Mark said on the risk side, and we see that in the EU, but also in the United States, partially in China, there's a strong focus on AI risks. And personally, we have had numerous roundtables also in Beijing to establish kind of a risk approach from the perspective of Chinese culture and history. We had a G20 policy brief already in 2020 arguing for a global governance, also working on the UN side. But actually, I have changed a little bit on that, because the risk emphasis is not natural. There's a certain fear, and I would like to share that. And actually, what we need also a very positive approach. And why do I say that? Not because we don't need to mitigate those risks, and I think the forum in February in France is very important, a very important contribution. But I think once we face highly capable, ubiquitous AI, whenever this comes, or AGI, I think to focus on that is as utopian as to say, let's focus on the positive side. And with positive side, I mean that not governments or regulators should mainly prove the unsafety of AI, but businesses should ensure the safety of AI. That's number one. The second one, I think we should focus on the solutions. And I think we heard something, though Henry, I would say all the business has to pay a little bit for the advertisement here, but we hear some great solutions, and I think we would, in the collaborative way, we should focus on solutions rather than overemphasizing the risk side. If you look at the word profit, the etymological origin of profit means actually to solve problems, and making money is secondary. And I think this is how governments and how businesses should lead that revolution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know I have a very tough job, keep everybody on this 3 minutes. Next one, I would like to invite Steve Li Gang from Tencent. Li Zong.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm from Tencent, and there's a lot of progress in the AI developments in the last few years, and Tencent just launched its large language model on last September, and just a few days back we launched a new function of the AI generated short videos. It's kind of like a benchmarking with OpenAI Sora, with very amazing product. On the one hand, the AI made a lot of progress. On the other hand, when this is my personal experiences, when I interact with public, with reporters, with government officials, I feel like their perceptions about the developments of AI is kind of mixed. On the one hand, some of them are quite exciting to see the progresses. On the other hand, they are kind of worried. There's I would call them a lot of misperceptions about the AI. What is the AGI? Will AGI replace all the human beings? And will AGI has its own purposes and goals? All these kinds of worries, different kinds of mixed feelings about the AI development. Not only the public, the journalists or the government officials, but some of the insiders of the AI research communities also holds the same kind of mixed feelings, which I think is quite a positive thing. It's not, for me, this is my personal view, it's not these AI governance that keep me sleep well at night, but those insiders within the AI research community which holds this dubious view of the AI development that make me feel safer. If there's something really happening there, there will be a whistleblower within the community. For Tencent, we closely followed all these developments in the global AI governance procedures in China, in Europe, and in the United States. And although the details of these wordings of these documents are kind of different, but I think they hold the same principle. That is, we wanted to put a guardrail under the developments of AI, but we don't want it to disrupt the developments of AI, which was, for me, it was very, also a positive sign. As long as all these wordings are clear, and the rules are specific, it's not like a very general language and you can interpret it in one way or another. And that's to conclude my speech, I think as long as a properly designed and well-balanced governance mechanism is what we so-called part of the new quality productive force, it will be a positive force in the development of AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Vidisha. You are also our co-sponsor for this roundtable. Vidisha, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I just want to begin by thanking Henry, CCG, for your partnership and for your hospitality. A lot of food for thought and also incredible food. So, you know, we're excited to be here. Global Solutions Initiative was founded in 2017 after the G20 presidency of Germany. And since then, we have been working across presidencies to really push forward concrete policy recommendations on key issues of global concern. And AI is definitely one of those. As we've seen in this panel, AI is so ubiquitous. It is so omnipresent at this time. And it's only going to become more so, that there are many approaches and angles and definitions through which we can approach those issues. This is where, you know, multilateral fora like the G20, the G7 still have immense value, because I think we still are at that place where AI governance needs a lot more coherence. And it's not there at the moment. So, you know, since I don't have a lot of time, I'll perhaps just summarize some of the points I've already heard through these speakers, and also, you know, in conversations with several audience members, and to sort of also mention that GSI will be a part of the AI Action Summit. We're doing a side event in January. We hope to feed a lot of these perspectives back into that side event and then to the AI Action Summit. In terms of the key emerging themes, I think some things are very clear in all of the conversations we've heard since morning. Current multilateralism institutions are not fit for purpose. AI has immense transformative potential, certainly in the context of the SDGs. We know that there's data to show that we're actually off track. You know, we're actually backsliding in terms of achieving 30% of them, and AI can perhaps help in that. But the current AI governance landscape is not prepared for that. The risks actually outweigh the transformative potential at the moment. That is not a cause to be disheartened, but that is a cause for sustained, intentional global cooperation. You know, the current regulatory and governance frameworks are inadequate, not because the risks are not recognized. I think we know that there is evidence, and there are many like-minded actors, many multi-stakeholder groupings that are working on identifying the risks and building safe, secure, and trustworthy AI. But the linkage between risks that are so inherently international in nature and regulatory frameworks that are still regional or context-specific. There seems to be a lack of coherence between those two. So we need to work on trying to bridge that gap a little bit at the moment. There are promising approaches to this. Some of my colleagues mentioned the EU AI Act. That approach is a little bit different to approaches that are emerging in China, where there's a lot more sort of vertical leaning use case specific regulation, certainly very different also from the US approaches. But at the same time, there have been conversations on the Council of Europe's AI treaty, for instance, where there are conversations of having something that is legally binding, but also builds in an element of agility, an element of contextualization for each country, so that the regulations that we put in place and the governance frameworks that we put in place are not static, because innovation is not static. So in essence, we do need to have more conversations where we're not decoupling innovation and regulation, because those two are not mutually exclusive in an AI world. And we need to find agile governance frameworks that are able to balance those two things and keep the global, wider governance landscape in mind, not just the regional and country-specific ones. A final thought, because I had a really interesting conversation with a fellow speaker earlier. There have been conversations since the AI Safety Summit in the UK about a CERN-like structure, which is global, where nations can pool in resources and really have a global infrastructure for AI governance. Now, and I'm being a little bit provocative here, can that CERN-like structure be truly inclusive and be led by a global South country? Because we have had so many conversations about how current multilateral institutions have been very focused on certain countries and led by certain countries. But if we're looking at a world where we have to rethink new institutions and new frameworks for AI, can we also rethink our approach to building them? That's where I'll stop with, and hope to have more of these conversations later.
Thank you so much. Next one, I would like to invite Mr. Pan Xiaofeng from 中科院. Pan 老师. It's not here? Oh. Maybe I just go to next. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Sun Yongfu, Senior Fellow, Center for China and Globalization, also former Director General of MOFCON Department of the European Union. Sun 市长，有请。
Thank you very much for having me here for this very important panel. I'm not an expert in AI, but I'm young. But I'm happy to hear that the ambassador of France to China expressed the willingness of cooperation in the AI sector with China. I was very much involved in this, trade and economic cooperation with you for many years. My past experience is quite good, actually. For something like 16 consecutive years, EU was our most important trading partner for many years. But last year was pretty bad. We have witnessed 7.1% of decrease. But this year, the first 10 months of this year's figure is quite impressive. We are more or less on the track again. We have only 0.2% of a decrease. So we have very good cooperation in the past in trade and economic cooperation. And I hope in AI sector will continue the cooperative partnership with EU, because we don't see that United States is willing to cooperate with China in this sector, because, their theory is decoupling with China. But for the second and third largest economy, as Henry mentioned, last session, and we need to cooperate, not only in, in this trade and economic cooperation, but also in AI, because we are discussing the global AI governance. And this needs the participation of all nations, and especially for those very important partners like EU and China. And I hope in this sector we'll have the cooperative manner, to cooperate in this very important, because AI is a very wide range of business, is including industry, construction, production, and transportation, education, and trade, especially. So we need the cooperation from our mindset, and I hope with this cooperation manner, and we are going to have, like we did in the past in trade and economic cooperation, and to have the global AI governance, with a very good cooperative manner to work together hand in hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think the cooperative mindset is critical. Yeah. Next, I would like to invite Felix. Felix, you share your thoughts on this one.
Sorry, I was a bit distracted now.
You got the mic?
Yes, sorry. I was saying that I was a bit distracted, sorry. And you got me. Yeah, a lot of things can be said about AI, but I think we have to be conscious that we are we're witness to one of the humankind discoveries, right? Comparable to, I would say, electricity, fire, and the computers that we invented not long while ago. So, since I work at an education institution, I would like to bring this subject a little bit to the educational sector, let's say, just put in a question. And the question would be, how much would we be prepared to have in class, because we are also hosting young leaders, right, for whom education is very important, to have in class, instead of having a human person like Shelin Chen or Mr. Wan Yiwei, have a computer, right, who could, to whom I could ask a question and will give me a full detailed answer, very intelligent. I'm not saying that you're not giving me intelligent answers. That's it, and with that I'll leave the floor to the following panelist. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Wan Yiwei, Sean Monat Chair Professor, also non-resident Senior Fellow at the CCG.
Thank you, and my ID has two names, Yang Monnet and also Xi Jinping. I'm the Vice President of the Xi Jinping Thought on Socialism with the Chinese characteristics. Sometimes too long, I say it's a Xi levelization, from civilization to civilization. Okay, it's easy to be understood. Okay, 3 minutes in 6 recommendations. So there's the EU AI dream, not turn into the bipolar world to multipolar world, or maybe tripolar world. Actually, EU has strong potential and capacity to be the first class of the AI innovator and be the independent AI model. Not just the claim the US is more private, capital driven, China is more government. EU claim the social market economy. But EU always lived in the shadow of the US, to be frankly, in security defense, NATO, so as a reason AI's dual use, military security connection. And also ideology in the tech side between China and the United States. So that's the reason for AI development, EU need really strategic autonomy. So 6 recommendations to improve our cooperation. First is about the infrastructure. The Chinese electricity, the price is only 1/3 of the Paris and 1/4 of the Berlin. So EV and AI, you need electricity. Now Trump, the promise to build the cheapest electricity price system in the world. So the first competition is about electricity price and system, stable supply chain. So infrastructure building. Actually, China and EU can cooperate in this regard. China is very frontier. It's not only new energy, but also nuclear plant and also some. I remember Henry made the suggestion to China-US cooperation jointly invest in infrastructure a couple of years ago in the China Daily. Now, I think China-EU should also do this. Second recommendation is about the mobility, not just the student, but also scientists, engineers, and I think that's very important. That's the European single market. Now, China and EU to be the neighbor from the Eurasia continent. We have the China-Europe Rail Express, even connected with the Arctic, and also many more connections. So joint laboratory, including the joint cultural innovation. Now, like Hei Wukong Black Wukong, that means so cultural innovation, AI designing, make the Europeans' heritage, like versus to be more attractive to the young people. I think that jointly research and mobility credit is also very important. Thirdly, third-party market cooperation, like in Africa. You know, now African population is more than China. By 2050, 40% of the youth in the world will be centralized in Africa. So China, Africa, and EU cooperation for AI use, I think that's very important. Fourthly, I think the cooperation is also about climate change. So if every country use the ChatGPT or AI, the planet will be, temperature will be increased 4 degrees. So you need to have the AI, at the same time you need to cut the CO2 emission. So how to coordinate this? For the poor countries, poor people, of course they need to use AI. They cannot live in the shadow of the AI, but as I mentioned, if every country use this is affordable for the planet. So we need to coordinate this cooperation. And fifthly, about inclusive governance in the AI, I think both China and EU highlights the principles of the people first. Also, you mentioned about this. I think that's very important. And also, I think Europe is we say the renaissance. We benefit from this. In AI, we need an AI renaissance. Let the robots do the robots, human do the human jobs, right? With a division of labor, I think that's very crucial. China initiated for the common values of the human being. So not go beyond the so-called universal values. Actually, in the AI governance, we need to have the AI Declaration on Human Rights redraft. Okay. Finally, but I think the most importantly is for peace. Next year is end of the World War II and the founder of the 80 years of the UN. China probably will celebrate or host of a global peace summit in September. So definitely China and EU can cooperate to draft AI peace initiative. So AI safety, AI arms race, and can be not to be used to damage our planet and the human security. So that's lots of the things we can cooperate. I think the China EU would not lose this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wang. I look at that just beautifully conclude our distinguished panelists for this very stimulating roundtable discussion. Now, I would like to invite the two GYLD partners. First one is Guido Casanova. The second one is Credo Isaac. So one of our beauty, we just enjoy our conversation. Let's listen to the young minds. I really like, what we have heard before. And kindly keep your question very brief, crystal clear, and you can direct your questions to whoever you want get answered. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Guido Alberto. I work at ISPI, an Italian think tank, and I mostly specialize on East Asia and China and Japan and Korea and technological issues. My question would be for Mr. Hube. And I'm quite glad that you mentioned a few times during the discussion the Bletchley Park Declaration and the AI Safety Summit in the UK. Because for me, that's the starting point for EU-China cooperation on AI governance. Because what I think is important about that agreement is that it managed to depoliticize a critical issue like AI governance. So my question would be, what are the next steps? What is the next technical issue which can be framed for to continue cooperation between Europe and China? Is maybe open source software in artificial intelligence?
Andrews?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. I have to say that I'm not the technical expert in this way, so I would let me answer by saying in terms of, I think it is key that we find out together in terms of working together, as I put also my remarks, that actually through joint collaboration we can really create, we have to dare to co-innovate. I think there's a tendency basically, especially if it comes to like countries like Germany looking into China in terms of innovation, potentially a certain hesitance in terms of now opening up and working together. So basically I think it is key for us, especially from the European or German side, to see the potential what we have in China, look into new technologies there and see where the application is. So basically I wouldn't like to point out any specific technology right now, but really see in the end, for me, as I also said, the technology must follow a purpose. So basically you need to understand what do you want to achieve. So when you know what you want to achieve, you can understand what kind of technologies do we have at hand, or what kind of technologies can we apply, or what do we need to develop. And there I would really stress to see a stronger openness from Western to sort of like this countries and companies, especially also startups, to see what can we learn here and work together with China in a safe co-innovation context. And this is why I also mentioned very strongly the idea around ecosystem. So we need to build up this innovation ecosystem to address those challenges.
Thank you very much. You want to direct the same question to one of Chinese leading technology company. We have Huawei, we have Alibaba, we have Tencent, you know, the best of tech company in China. You want to direct your question to whoever you want. The choice is yours.
It's a difficult choice. I don't know, maybe Mr. Gu Denchang?
谢谢啊，这个看着很难选，其实也不难选，因为刚刚讲了千问现在。
It seems difficult choice, but actually it's not difficult. We hope that in the future we will have cooperation with the SMEs in Europe. I think AI governance framework should be promoted by all parties. It is a framework. It should cover not just a specific issue. Actually, we are not lacking in frameworks. What we are lacking in is the harmonization of standards. For example, the EU AI Act is the responsibility of the AI office, but they need to think about the threshold for audit and for access. For example, for some models, there are a lot of technical issues and they do not have a clear answer. And they are also working together with the enterprises to promote dual pillars to ensure the implementation of the specific standards. I think in this process, the enterprises, especially from China, should be actively involved in it. Actually, the CAC of China has done a lot of algorithm security and data security work. I think this standardization work is very effective. Some people say that it is overburdened or it is too much about ideology. But actually, when the most pressing issues are tackled, we will be able to ensure that this technology can apply to many sectors. So that is a special feature of China. But I think this is one of the areas for China-EU cooperation. And on the side of basic research, cloud service is a wide application scenario. For example, a person wants to use AI, probably they will use the public cloud to make use of it. We know that we hope that in the future we need to promote diversification. We can also see the rise of Chinese clouds, and they will have a fair, competitive environment in Europe so that we can provide better services. For example, some is about computing power, some is about applications, some about algorithm. But in all areas, China can make its own contribution. Thank you very much.
Business perspective as well as technology perspective. What's the next question?
Thank you. First of all, good afternoon. Thanks for this opportunity. My name is Isaac. I'm a master's student in electrical engineering at Northwestern Polytechnical University in Xi'an, China. And I am from Honduras, which is a country located right in the center of the American continent. So in terms of the academic perspective, I would like to ask my question to Mr. Felix Valdivieso, as he's working right in IE University. So in terms of China and EU collaboration, how do you think that the AI Act, which is like a set of regulations for AI in Europe that plans to be implemented in 2 years, so how do you think that this could affect the AI startups in Europe based on the fact that nowadays, currently China and the United States are in the head of AI research and progress?
Felix?
Yes, to be 100% honest, I mean, I'm not an expert on AI, and that's why my remark was only through the angle of education. So if you don't mind, I think you have better experts on this panel to answer that question. For instance, maybe if I can name it, Tony from Huawei, who was in Spain, and I was happy to meet him here, because I met him in Spain a long time ago. I don't know whether you would like to address this issue.
Tony?
But I mean, I don't want to put you in a difficult position, right?
Felix, actually, that had been a good strategy to, ask someone to really help. Tony?
Okay, so regarding to AI Act, this is also some topic internally we are thinking together with our partners. I just want to share with you or reflect the European partners. Okay, when we talk about this issue, of course, we have a very good, framework for the regulatory environment creations. I mean, we have to follow the regulations. I mean, and it's quite leading for Europe. First, establish this framework, and including many very creative, necessary, requirement. Of course, all the business, at least in our sectors, we all believe that digital inclusions are using the technologies to help the people. I mean, we don't want to damage the people's wealth or people's benefits. But we have to understand the regulation, how they remove, because we know there are implementation act or concrete, regulations. For our business, we have the obligation to follow. This is for sure. We have to do that. And I think the rest of the world also is learning from Europe. This is a very good point. But for the business, we really want to a unified regulatory environment. Not the situation in Europe is like this, but another situation in China. Okay, I mean, so we are global business. Secondly, we need to have a balance. This is always the business point of view from the companies, that you cannot depress the innovation because of the regulations. Okay, there are famous joke. I think you know that Europe is very leading on their regulations. Okay, I mean, so not depressing means that we need to allow the expertise or the companies to practice. The practice means implement the technologies to the real cases, allow them to grow, and then discuss for the better regulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony, for really summarize this really well. And I look at all these things. I want to really thank our distinguished speakers for sharing your thoughts or ideas and how to be, we can safeguard this whole thing. In summary, may I just borrow a quote from Albert Einstein. The quote is, "The human spirit must prevail over technology." I think that says the future for technology as we march towards. Thank you so much. Please join me in thanking our distinguished panelists here for having a wonderful conversation. Until next time, thank you so much.